Hey everybody, welcome to Drive Thru Review 334. Today we're going to talk about the 12 Days card game, or it's the 12 Days of Christmas card game. Now, this is a game I've had for well over a year. By the time I got around to playing it a few times, the holidays were over, so it felt silly to review the game in January. So I've had a chance to break it out now. It's the holiday season at the time of this video, and it's really an excellent little game. So let's jump into how it works, and I'll tell you more about what I think of it. So the 12 Days card game is based on the Christmas Carol, 12 Days of Christmas, and you can see here is a partridge in a pear tree, and there are two decks of cards. We've got a small deck of present cards, and these are numbered 1 through 12, and you'll put these face up on the table with the 1 on top and the 12 on the bottom. And you've got a larger deck of cards, and these are the cards that will be dealt to players. Each player will of course get 12 cards. And as you can see, these cards are very well illustrated. And each of the numbers goes with the particular verse in the song. So you've got 5 golden rings, 12 drummers drumming, and then finally you've got a partridge in a pear tree for the 1. The interesting thing about this deck is there's only one 1. So there's only one partridge in a pear tree, and there's 12 drummers drumming. So there's 12 12s and 2 2s and 3 3s and so on. And so each player is going to get 12 cards. And what you're going to be doing, there's two sort of goals in the game. You're trying to get those present cards, those 1 through 12s, but you're also trying to have sort of a majority in the particular gift types that you were dealt. So the first thing players are going to do each round of play is to take a card from their hand and pass it to the player on their left. So in this case, we'll take and pass a 5, and then we'll pretend that the player to our left dealt us a 6. And then each player will take and put a card face down, and then we'll simultaneously reveal all the players' cards, and the player with the lowest value card is going to take the top present card from the present deck, and it's going to be worth the amount of points shown, in this case 1 point on the card. Then each player will draw a card off the deck, replenishing their hand at 12. Each player will pass a card to their left, and then we'll have another reveal, and we'll see in this case the player that played a 3 played the lowest card and will now take the top present, which is now worth 2 points. Now if there was a tie, let's say 2 players had played a 3, then the next highest card, in this case the player that played an 8, would get the present. So you're going to do 12 rounds of this, and that's going to be the end of the game. So you're going to add up all of the presents that you've received, and that's going to be the points you get. But you're also going to look at the cards left in your hand, because remember, you're always passing a card, you're always drawing a new card from the one that you played, so you're going to end the game with 12 cards in your hand. And then you're going to take a look at who has the majority of cards left, and they're going to get that number of points. So we're going to work our way from the 1 all the way up to the 12. And let's say nobody has any 1s, 2s, or 3s. Everybody's played those, and then we get to the 4s, and I've got a 4. Nobody else has a 4, so I've got the most 4s, so I get 4 points. And then we do the 5s. Let's say I've got 2 5s, but you've got 3 5s. You've got the most 5s, so you get 5 points. And we do that all the way up to the 12. So whoever has the most 12s is going to get 12 points. So the high cards are not worth anything during the present phase, because remember, it's the lowest card that gives you that present card. But you're trying to store a mass of those cards to get the bonus points at the end of the game. Now there's 2 other cards in the game. Now here you can see the Santa Claus and the Mrs. Claus cards. They both are 0, so they can still cancel each other out, but the player that plays this, instead of getting the present card themselves, will have to give it to another player, just like Santa Claus would. And so I should also say, at the end of the game, if me and you have the same number of 9s, we both have the most 9s, then we'll each get 9 points. Well, this is deceptively an awesome little game. It fits the theme of Christmas. You've got the 12 Days of Christmas, you know, you've got the hand of 12 cards and all this stuff, and you've got the cool Santa Claus card. Now the game tells you that's a variant, but I would say just go ahead and play with it. It makes it kind of fun. And then you have this sort of balance between scoring points during the game as well as scoring points during the end of the game. But the cool thing is the whole drafting. So I'm always passing a card every round. So I can see maybe you're trying to keep a hand of some low cards to get that 12 at the end of the present phase, but you're also trying to fill up your hand with a bunch of big cards to have the majority. So you're at cross purposes there, because I'm trying to either figure out how I'm going to score during the game or at the end of the game, and then I can tell you, you keep giving me 8s, so you're not going for 8s, so maybe I should keep the 8s. Or I can pass the 8s off, and then he keeps 8s, and now you guys, or a couple of guys out there, are going to be competing. So there's a little bit of information that you can deduce with the passing of the cards and trying to figure out, okay, everybody else is going to go for the 12, so maybe I'll go for the 11, you know, that kind of thing. Or you can maybe even try to go for some of those medium cards and get the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because everybody's going for the, you know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12s, and you're going for those, and you're trying to, you know, maybe see that people are going to pass. If you could do a little bit of card counting, you can say, okay, I think they're going to tie on this. It's a little bit of push your luck if you do that, but you can play that and you go, oh, I got it with the 12, you know. So So it's really fun. It plays super quickly. Like I showed you, the art is really cool, and it really fits the holiday. I mean, you usually think, oh, okay, Christmas game, that's not going to be very good, but this is amazing. It's excellent. So it's got a lot of replayability, and it's interesting because the game's really good. I would play it any time of the year, but because of the theme, it feels silly to play it in July. So it's nice to have a game that you can play during Christmas time, and it fits the theme, it fits the time of year, but it's just still a really good game. You know, it's a good family game, a good filler, but it still gives you a lot of, you know, information to chew on and deduce with the whole drafting thing. So I highly recommend that. Unfortunately, the box it comes in is kind of junky. It looks like it would be, you know, on the rack at Target or something. So mine's easily falling apart. I should say you can buy a second copy. I haven't had a chance to do this. This plays 3 to 5 players. You can buy a second copy, and I think you can play up to 8 or something, maybe 10. But if you buy 2 copies, you can play, you know, with a big group. So I've seen it in stores. So, you know, I've had it over a year now, but I've still seen it around. So you can definitely find it at some spot. So, yeah, definitely take a look at it. I highly recommend the game, and it's perfect for like a holiday get-together. You know, you break it out, you can teach it in 2 minutes, and away you go. So anyway, take a look. 12 days. Thanks.